Can you believe this day? Guys, it is 67, something like that. Gorgeous sunshine, warm day. It's February 21st or 2nd or something like that. I mean, wow. It's the middle of winter, pretty much, right? There's another month of winter to go, at least. I get up this morning and everything's all wet. I think it was just condensation. It's been kind of humid from the rain. But it was just, what are you going to do? Everything was wet. And after today, there's rain coming in tonight. It's probably going to start around 4 or 5 o'clock tonight. And it's going to rain for like 5 days. Not constantly, but it ain't going to dry, that's for sure. And it's getting colder, and it might snow, and, you know, that's winter, right? So I had a decision. Take the car to work and just be depressed all day, pretty much all week, all through the weekend because of the rain. So I said, you know what? I'm riding the bike. I got to work and I just put in a vacation slip for half a day. And my boss is so totally cool. He couldn't care less. He actually signed a slip and it was still on his desk, and I went in around 11:30. I was just like, hey, you know, I left something on your desk, and he picks it up. It's already signed, and he's like, when is this for? Today? Like, didn't even faze him. Where am I? Do you know? Because I don't really know. I mean, I sort of do. I told my wife, I'm taking the really long way home. We are in Orange County, New York, north of Walden. That's the town. You know, Woodstock. You know, that area. Anyway, yeah, I'm just taking the country rides home. So what is the excitement in my world? Well, a couple weeks ago, my Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl. Now, if you're not into sports, then maybe it just won't mean anything to you, but wow, I have been a Philadelphia sports fan my entire life. I grew up in the suburbs of Philadelphia. I was born in 1966 in the summer. The first Super Bowl was in January or February of 67. So my whole life there's been Super Bowls. And the Eagles went to their first Super Bowl in 81 and lost. I remember it well. I remember being totally depressed. I think I was 14 at the time. And they went back again. I guess it was the 2004 season. I don't exactly remember, 04, 05. But we played the Patriots, and we were just, it just never felt like we were going to win that game. All those years that we had Andy Reid and Donovan McNabb, we were always a good team. We made the playoffs a whole lot. But it just never felt like we were going to go all the way with those guys. And meanwhile, well, let me just back up and say, I was a pretty little kid, 7 years old around then, when the Flyers won a couple of Stanley Cups. I remember that. Our whole family was into it. We wanted to go to the parade, but there was just no way to get there. The trains were jam-packed. And then in 1980, the Phillies won the World Series, which I vividly remember. I watched the whole thing, the whole playoffs and everything. That was fabulous. And then in 83, the Sixers won. And I mean, so there's just been a lot of great history for Philadelphia sports fans. But the Eagles have never won it all. And, you know, before they had the Super Bowl, the Philadelphia Eagles won championships, I think 3 of them. I think the last one was in it was in the 60s, or maybe the last one was 1960. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, they beat the Lombardi Packers, you know, which is a great accomplishment. But they weren't Super Bowls. So that was always disappointing to not have a Super Bowl. And I work in New York State, so I've got Giants fans all over the place, some Jets fans, even the lowly Jets, right? They won the Super Bowl with Joe Namath. And then, of course, no matter where you go in the world, there's always a Dallas Cowboys fan rubbing your nose in it. So, having had 2 Super Bowl appearances, both losses, as an Eagles fan, it was like, are we going to be able to do it this time? We had a fabulous season with Carson Wentz as our quarterback, and we were flying high until he had an ACL injury that knocked him out for like a year. And so you could just feel this crushing disappointment yet again in the whole city. But lo and behold, our backup quarterback, Nick Foles, who I always liked. He was good when he was with the Eagles before, and I didn't really understand why they traded him when they did. But I didn't know if he still had it. I know he had kind of a stinker of a season out in, I don't know, Rams or something, wherever he was. So, you know, his first couple games, he didn't look too good. But they barely beat the Falcons 15-10 in the first round of the playoffs. And then our next game was against Minnesota, and that was when he just was like, you know what, I'm here. I've arrived. And the Eagles crushed Minnesota. So, based on what I was hearing on Philadelphia sports radio for the 2 weeks leading up to the Super Bowl, and what people were saying about the team and their demeanor and everything, it felt totally different than it ever felt before for me as an Eagles fan. I sincerely felt we had the advantage going against the Patriots. Now, Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, Rob Gronkowski, you got to slay the dragon. I mean, these guys are the dragon. I don't care what problems the Patriots have. They're the Patriots, right? 5 Super Bowl wins, 8 Super Bowl appearances, or I guess 7 going in to this one. And we were going to have to play just a ridiculous game. Not perfect, but pretty darn close. And I'll tell you what, we never would have won this game with Andy Reid. I like Andy Reid, but it was never going to happen. He was just too conservative. Our coach, Doug Peterson, if there's a playbook, you know, if Andy Reid was by the book, Doug Peterson shredded that book and burned it, because he coached a game. The look on the face of Bill Belichick was priceless. I mean, he didn't know what hit him on a few of the plays. And there were just so many epic moments in the game for us. There really were. I mean, the touchdown by Zach Ertz diving, you know, the guy caught the ball at the 6-yard line, took 2 or 3 steps and dove into the end zone, and the ball pops out once it crosses a plane. It's a touchdown, people. Get over it. Chris Collinsworth, deal with it. You know, the game was over, and he was still like, I don't think that's a touchdown. Then there was another play. I don't remember if it was Alshon Jeffrey or whoever it was that caught a touchdown. And there was a question about whether he had 2 feet in bounds. Deal with it, people. It was a touchdown. Then you had Zach Ertz catching, I don't know, a 5-yard pass on 4th down late in the game to keep our last drive alive, the last touchdown drive. That was great. And then when what we really needed to seal the deal was a turnover. Brady with his hands on the ball with, you know, a minute and change left. Or maybe it was around 2 minutes, I don't quite remember. And what happens? The Eagles get a hand on the ball and strip it, fumble. We hit a field goal. Now the Patriots got like a minute left, and you know, the game came right down to the Hail Mary pass with time expiring. wow, it was just amazing. In my wildest dreams, I thought, like, if we ever win a Super Bowl, it's going to somehow be marred. Like, there's going to be an asterisk next to it. Like, yeah, your team won, but, you know, like, the other team stunk. It was a horrible year. Or the other team's quarterback broke his arm on the first play of the game and you just rolled over him. You know, there's going to be something that people were going to be able to say it was somehow not legitimate. But that was not the case. It was a fabulous Super Bowl. Even if I wasn't an Eagles fan, that was definitely top 10 Super Bowls. I mean, there's been 52 of them, so that's saying a lot. It was a super exciting game. Even at work, the Dallas Cowboys fan was like, yeah, it was an amazing game. So my dad is 79 and a half years old. And this poor guy has watched the Eagles his whole life. And I just wanted a win so bad for him. And wow. You know, the week leading up to the Super Bowl, and especially that weekend, me, my dad, and 4 of my brothers were all in a group text and just chatting all through leading up to the game. And then once the game started, we were chatting during the game. And that was really a special thing, that we had never done anything like that before. And the emotion of Eagles fans all over the place. You know, you can see videos on YouTube of people just crying, you know, just breaking down and crying. And it was so cool to finally get that that outcome. And I'm so happy for my dad that he got to see that, and that he got to kind of enjoy the experience with his boys all kind of chatting about it. So I talked to my brothers, and we decided to get my dad a Super Bowl 52 commemorative football. He was very moved by it. He sent us pictures, and he looks like a little kid in a candy store holding his football. And we were all so excited to be able to do that. It was really a cool thing to do for us, and to see how he enjoyed it. So, yes, so the Eagles have finally won a Super Bowl. And if, you know, obviously we want to win more now, but if they never go back, we'll always have this memory. And what's really cool is to be able to go on YouTube anytime and watch these like 20-minute game highlight videos of the parade, the fans, and just be able to relive that anytime. So, if you've made it this far, thank you. I always appreciate views. Please give me a thumbs up if you like my videos. I don't usually ask for that, but I'd like to build my channel a little bit. So I'd like some thumbs up, and definitely some comments. Please leave some comments. Alright, we got some biker brethren out here. Alright guys, well, I'm going to take this long ride home, as I am on Route 52 somewhere in upstate New York. I hope you guys are all well. Until next time.